Decidí que voy a seguir mi vida sin ti. Decidí que no necesito tu amor para vivir. Fuerzas me sobraron para amarte, asimismo sobrarán para olvidarte. Siempre te creíste imprescindible, hasta yo llegué a creerlo. Fui un estúpido ignorante que confié en tu falso amor y te di mi corazón. Pero no veo lejos la salida. Yo sé que voy a olvidarte y tú vas a recordarme con dolor, por burlarte de mi amor, por dañar mis sentimientos, por romperme el corazón. Vas a recordarme con dolor cuando estés en otros brazos y no encuentres un amor así como el que te di. Piense otra vez. Fuerzas me sobraron para amarte, asimismo sobrarán para olvidarte. Vas a recordarme con dolor cuando estés en otros brazos y no encuentres un amor así como el que te di.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Diamond Rivera, and this is the Live Discussions with Diamond podcast, episode 153. And before we get started, just to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Tu Bachata Radio. And this will be also on Spotify and other streaming platforms. And today, people, this lovely afternoon, this great Monday start of the week, we have all the way from the DMV area, the owner of Noel's Kitchen, the one and only Noelia Garcia.
Hi!
Hey!
Thank you.
Hey, can let you know that video was hot, but most of all, your empanadas are even hotter, I hear. But first of all, I want to thank you, Noelia, for coming to the platform today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be on this podcast, episode 153.
Oh my God, 153. And actually, I've had many episodes, like I've told you as well, with some of your friends as well from the DMV area, who are really some amazing entrepreneurs and dancers as well. And for me, having an artist like you, and I say artist because you have artistry, whether it's dancing, whether it's your entrepreneurship with Noel's Kitchen, but also you becoming, I would say, a figure in DC. You're going viral with videos, I would say. I think as well, this is a chance to really appreciate and celebrate your current success, but also get a chance to understand who you are beyond the videos, beyond the business, just understanding really who Noelia is.
Thank you. And I thank you for hosting a platform that, can deliver that and can give that. It's amazing. Thank you.
I appreciate it. And for me, when I do this, it's really helping people understand the human being aspect of it. So for me, like I always do, starting off, understanding, of course, the success you have currently, but really understanding where it all started. So, kind of take us back to where it all started and help us understand who Noelia Garcia is.
Oof, so I have to talk about myself. Wait.
And we already got comments coming in. Don't worry right now. We're going to find out who these are. But over here we have Team Curls. So, got to show up the curls one time.
Hey, Team Curls. Yeah, so I come from a very diverse family because I am mixed. And we've always, I've always been around amazing food all my life and art. My mom was an artist as well. You never stop being an artist. You just, So yes, she would do that in high school and stuff. So I always had that influence. Music was always blasting in my house. more than anything. So I grew up around salsa, bachata. My best friend when I was younger was Dominican, which is how I actually discovered bachata. Because I would watch her mom and she would be cleaning and whatever it is that Dominicans do in the morning. I don't know. But she would just blast bachata and like loved it and was just all about it. And I'm like, taking all that in when I was a young kid. And I was like, later when I was able to like make my own decisions, play my own music and all this stuff, like bachata was just easy, no brainer. Like I'm playing bachata and I love it. And from there, so my love really came from the music first. And then I was like, man, like I'm here in DC. When I moved to DC, the friend I'm talking about was in Miami. But when I moved here in like middle school time, spent years here, and it was like I live in the suburbs of DC.
Okay.
And I never thought anybody was like Latin. I didn't think anyone danced Latin for sure, or any Latin songs, anything. So I just kind of felt like whatever, like it's just me. But then my sister ended up meeting Brian Lee, who was my first teacher. And then from there, that was it. It was a wrap. So I joined his team, and it was a wrap. Like literally, haven't stopped since.
Man, that's amazing to hear. Like you said, kind of your moving different places, but kind of finding your balance and growth really in middle school afterwards in the DMV area. It's amazing to see, like you said, you being influenced by Dominican culture, you being Argentinian, but you said mixed as well, realizing how important culture is and, diversity, and how just being immersed in a new culture. And then, like you said, with bachata, I've been playing for years, whether it's in your household, your friend's household, you're being immersed in it and seeing people actually loving this art form. And it's like with a passion, not just at a concert. This is someone at home cooking and cleaning and dancing bachata, and kind of years later, kind of your life foreshadowing you being a bachata teacher, which we'll get into, which is interesting as well. But you, like you said, being in the DMV area and not really knowing if other people really dance. So a question I have is, and we're going to get also into Brian Lay. Big shout out to Brian Lay at Dance the Beat. And I would say this, and I say this a lot to a lot of my guests, it makes sense because when I'm seeing the way you dance, I'm like, there's some mentorship somewhere, somebody that I know, and realizing it's Brian, it's like, the fluidity,
And he had me from like ground level, like I never had any bad habits that I built. I never went social dancing before. Like I was the ideal student of like, hey, you don't know anything, come here, and like train my feet, train me like from the ground up. So like I was lucky in that sense that I didn't find the community until I found the team first, which is kind of backwards. Usually people find the community and they're like, whoa, I want to do that. And then they get intimidated. They wait a couple years and then finally they take the class. But for me, it was like, I never saw any of the intimidation. I didn't see any of like the social dancing. I didn't even know there was socials, any of that, and then to discover it all because of being on a team, I was like, oh, so like, it was a really good timeline for me. Like, I feel like I got lucky in that sense that I was like grabbed young,
Yeah, kind of like fresh, like you said, ground zero. Like, and that's interesting because, like you said, the storyline usually is the other way around. You go into an event, you see something interesting, you ask around, word of mouth, you find it out. But you starting from the school, from that format, and especially with Brian Lay, the way he teaches, just the fluidity, the timing, and realizing you don't have to do too much to create an impact. As long as the dance is enjoyable, the connection is there. I think many students from Dance to Beat as well. I just see that. Just like it's not always about dips. It's not always about tricks. I mean, especially if you can't do it right. So definitely a PSA.
You can tell people in the back, no more crazy dips. No more of that.
So what year would you say that happened around?
That was in 2016. I was 21. So I'm like, back then I thought I was old, but I was young.
Old.
Like when I started dancing and I was 21 and I saw like the ballerinas that were dancing from like 10 years old that were teaching me, and I was like, Jesus, like I'm not gonna have those feet. Like what? And so I was like, man, like I got into this too late and blah, blah, blah. But now I'm like, it's fine. Like, no big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because yeah, many people who dance and really go forward with it, they kind of battle with that dilemma of, oh, because I wasn't dancing longer, maybe I'm not as good, or the
Yeah.
people who have been have something more of me. But really, I just think it's dedication. I've seen people that
Yeah.
dance 20, 30 years still off timing. So
And yeah. And, you know, like everybody has something to offer. So it's like, for me, it may not be those feet. Like, I can't do that or whatever
mhm.
technique that you learn when you're a kid. But I can offer something else, you know, maybe heart, soul, like
Yeah.
different things.
That's true. So then now, like, many people know in DC, especially in the dance and Latin community, there've been, of course, many clubs, events, concerts, what have you. But one place synonymous that I always have heard about, still have not been. One day I will. Is TSR, the salsa room,
Mm-hmm.
and people like Ethan Yoon, who
Mm-hmm.
I highly respect and seen his visuals over the year. He, for me, was synonymous with really helping put DC's salsa and bachata scene really on the map for me in my eyes, because when you had a central place that everyone would go to, you guys would have theme parties and what have you, but seeing people not just from DC but all over come to DC in those areas, that was my first times really seeing from years ago dancers like yourself and many others just social dancing, and now kind of really making a name for yourself, in my opinion. So a question I have is, with your times, of course, in TSR, but other places, what was it like for you now, over time? Then you go social dancing. Now the camera's on you. What were those honest moments like for you when those started?
When the cameras started.
Yeah, when cameras now are starting and now people are seeing you, are waiting almost now, asking like, oh, when are you going to be in a new video? Or what were those initial experiences like now, seeing yourself in a video just dancing maybe the night before?
That's an interesting question. That's really, like, no one's ever asked me that.
Mm.
To me, honestly, like, I've always loved the camera, and
Yeah, I see somebody says here she loves the cameras. We got to figure out.
they're already calling me out. But yeah, like, I don't know. It's like a click that like just turns on. Like when I see a camera, I'm like I don't care. I don't care what's going on. Like we're posing, we're this, we're like ready. You know, I don't know why, but it's always been. And like I realized that from watching like home videos, like from when my mom would record with like the big.
Oh yeah, the camcorders.
Yeah, and like she has like one horribly filmed like VHR, I don't know what the name is now. I'm too millennial for that. But and I watch and I'm like, yo, every time the camera came my way, I was like putting on some type of like comedy show or like acting something, you know? And I'm like, wow, I've always literally been this annoying. Cool. Good to know. So what happened with TSR is like honestly, I was loyal. Like I was a loyal customer. Like every Wednesday, like that first year I started dancing, like maybe 6 months in, I started social dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even sooner than that. And so I would go every Wednesday, every Sunday, pretty much those were my days, Wednesday and Sunday. And so he would see me, obviously, like, you know, I'm like young and cute, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so eventually, like, I don't know. Eventually, he just started recording me, and then it just got like fun. When I see the camera, I don't even flinch. Like I'm just like, oh, just the camera. Like let's just keep going. Like I don't know. It's just been that way. And then when I see myself, I obsess over my videos. By the way, like I obsessively watch them.
Wow. I mean, hey, honestly, you know how many people I've talked to have asked that same question, and realizing too, some people look at themselves and there's always that critique, because there's always, as the quote says, we are our worst critics. But there's people, but there's other people that just thrive under the camera, because like you said, that initial experience is when you're younger, you don't realize as you get older, okay, it's just a camera there. Because some artists that I've met, that I've seen perform on stages, get so shy when the camera is solely on them at a social dance, and it's like seeing people like yourself and many of us that I've seen in DC, especially just seeing the filming, the fun. The one thing that always gets me is the smiling, the happiness, joy, because nothing's worse than dancing with somebody you're happy and the other person's just like shocked.
Yeah. Well, that's what my goal is to always get, people to smile. And like, I just like to emote, whatever, the feeling that I get when I shut up. I see it.
Yeah.
I obsess over my videos, not because I obsess over myself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's part of it. But like, honestly, I watch them so I can get better and so that I know what looks good on camera, because as dancers all know, like, you could be feeling yourself when you're there in person. Like, I killed that dance.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then you watch the video and you're like, what the hell? Like, that was horrible. So I do that because it helps me look better in videos. Like, if I watch the videos and I see, oh, that didn't look so good, maybe I should change that. So that's just like a strategy that I use. And then if I really like the video, I'll keep watching it. But if it's cringy, then I'll just watch like a few, maybe like
few seconds.
I don't like this one, but
you just move on, because I mean, you always got the next video and the next person to dance with, and that's interesting because it's different for social dancers because there's so many. But then there's those few that are really, especially in their community, publicly pushed out there and promoted, especially positively, just dancing. Like you said, you were a loyal customer. You were going your Wednesdays and Sundays, and I've heard about Wednesdays at TSRs, especially back in those days as well. But realizing, especially when you have a person like Ethan pushing out visuals and others in the community, and people like me in New York are like, what is this happening in DC that's not happening in New York? And that right there was helpful, because I started seeing people or hearing people from other parts of the world telling me that they're going to DC on a Wednesday to TSRs, and they heard about it from a video. They seen a video of you or Immersive, whoever it was. And that right there was exciting for me, because that's the promotion. That's exactly what a city needs to do, is constantly promote that main event that people want to go to and that is synonymous for. So now my question is, what was that transition like for you from being the novice learner, from the ground zero, to then becoming a teacher? What was that moment like?
That happened recently, like I would say 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Officially, because I was teaching and stuff before COVID, but it was like a few times, it was nothing like regular. It was just like, oh, here's some gigs. So I never had like proper teacher training or like, any of that. And, dancing and teaching, a lot of people don't realize, is completely different. Completely. Like, teaching is a psychologist, like therapy, like it's crazy, but because you have to know how to deal with people and how to handle, your class and like be organized. And there's so many factors to it. But when you just dance, which is what I did, it's just totally different. So my transition has been, honestly, like, I have to thank Abraham from Crown Dance Studio.
Yes.
He hired me in February of this past year. Like, as soon as the pandemic was like, mask off, he was like, yo, like, come work, and I was like, cool, let's do it. Mm-hmm. And from him, I've learned like teaching techniques and like the other side of teaching, where it's not like just combos and it's not just like, just teach people the steps, because it's not that, and I focus, like, I'm seeing that my focus goes more towards like technique and foundation and stuff like that, rather than like teaching like combos or any of that, which obviously you need to teach too to go along with the technique. But I've learned, like, to project my voice, because I have a very low voice. I don't have a high voice at all. So like, it's hard, when you have to like control a class and they can't hear you. And so little things like that, where I'm like, and explaining what I'm doing, because a lot of it I just do it.
Yeah, it comes naturally. So kind of disseminating it to 12 or 14 or 20 other people is not always going to be the easiest.
Yeah. And they're like, whoa, like, how do I do this? And also realizing, like, for lack of a better term, like, how to dumb things down, because it's like, I've been doing it for so long that for me, like, I don't realize some of the stuff I do, but then like for beginners, they don't understand. And it's like, you have to break down like certain things, knowing when people are ready to hear certain things. Because if you throw everything on them at once, they'll like get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So there's little like teaching techniques I've been learning throughout the past 6 months working at Crown and teaching and like, you know, doing my thing. And I started my own class to that point, and it's just fun. I love it.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. So at least now understanding from your teaching point, I think lastly, before we get into our segment called the randoms, we got to talk about now is the creation of Noel's Kitchen, this empanada business that you have that is blossoming that I'm hearing about, and really help us understand really the creation of it, what started it, the impact, how the experiences have been as of recent. Yeah, just kind of give us an understanding of Noel's Kitchen.
So, you know, I'm a really big believer in like surround yourself with people that, you know, you want to emulate or that are doing better than you or like you. And so like for me, entrepreneurship has always been like a big idea and like a big thing in my head that I want to do. And so I just started surrounding myself with more people like of that nature that like to create and that like to start businesses and talk about business together. And so I became friends with, not because of interest or anything, but like, no, we just like, I don't even remember how we became friends, but like Laddie, Emerson, like the Viva crew, right? And back then when it was just like them two, and it was an idea. Like, oh, we're gonna do Viva, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And then Carlos Siwa, Media Rebel. And like we would have like little chats on Facebook on the comment section, and then out of nowhere, Carlos, he's always joking around. He's like, "Yo, you're gonna bring empanadas because you're Argentinian, so yeah, that's just what you do." And I'm like,
Argentinians bring those empanadas there.
Like he's not wrong. Like, you know, my mom's pretty bomb empanadas, so let me ask her what's up. Like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Down, why not? I'll bring food for the crew. Like, you know, just to help them out because like we were friends. It was the first social, and I just wanted like, I just thought it was a good idea. And so I made empanadas, and just for us, like for the Viva crew.
Yeah.
First Viva ever, which was March 4th in 2019. I believe. Yes. And then like all of a sudden, like I bring them out at the end of the night, like just to eat one or whatever it was for. And then Vladdy's around and he's like, or somebody asked like, "Hey, where can I get those? Like, I'm hungry." At the studio, like, "Why do you have food? I don't have food. I'm hungry."
Yeah.
And then Vladdy just yells at a price, and then that's when like my little light came on, and I was like, "Oh, we could sell these."
Yes. I mean, hey, I'm sorry to cut you off, but it was so interesting when I found out how it was going about because those are perfect, like just something to have at an event. You don't have a plate. You can just have something to just be mobile with. But yes, sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I've noticed that like at the past few socials where we haven't had them, everyone's like, "I'm hungry," or like they go eat after, and it's already 5 p.m. and you're like, "Geez, where am I gonna eat?" And so it is a thing, and I'm like, wow, you know, it'd be cool if we had some empanadas right now. so yeah, no, ever since that day, like I just so it's a monthly social, Viva, and so I would bring them every month and sell them just casually, you know, like it started real casual, and then it got a little more official, and then more official, and then Franco from TSR made me a logo. And it just went off. And then COVID.
Absolutely. I mean, COVID happening as well. So lastly, my question is understanding, like you said, with COVID, especially with our dance community putting things at a halt, especially in initial stages. What was it like for you? Like you said, having a business, and then through COVID, did it actually kind of help in terms of people in the house and people would order, or how was it for you really having a business during these times?
It was good. I am so glad I had it because I don't know what would have been of me if I didn't have that. Because it distracted me too. I built my entrepreneurship skills more, you know, like I learned a lot about business. I learned a lot about clients, everything, you know, handling so many things, like the layers and everything. And so, yeah, I mean, I lived with my mom and my sister, and my mom, she's chilling. She didn't even get involved. She was like, "Yeah, go do your thing, whatever it is, And she would help me out too, sometimes. But like I would get overwhelmed sometimes. Like the orders were insane, and it was actually good because it was like people. It was in demand at that time. Like people wanted like homemade food, but they couldn't go out, and like and Uber Eats was the thing. So I was like basically Uber Eats but cheaper. So.
Less delivery charges, I guess.
Thanks. I'll take it all on my back. The delivery fee. It's fine. But yeah, it was good. It definitely kept me distracted, kept me super, super, super busy.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't like in that like whole like I'm bored time of COVID. It was more of like I want to be bored. Like I want less to do, but it's good. It kept me sane for sure. For sure.
Absolutely. Just hearing that because, especially during COVID, you had those two variables. One of it completely depleted your morale, and for others thrived, and especially businesses like yours and platforms like mine that thrive because I think what's similar between both of us is that our business caters to people. So no matter what, we're going to interact with people, whether it's through conversations or whether it's through food, because food is the best kind of connection to
Bring
culture.
it again.
Yes, it definitely brings people together. But realizing for me as well, seeing your business thrive, whether it's through COVID or even now, just seeing how much effort and time and dedication you put into it, I really respect, and that's why, like I told you as well, this is why I have platforms like this because it brings artists together. Whether we're dancers, understanding that we're also more than dancers, we're entrepreneurs, we're business people, we're family people. So we have so many really layers to us because I think our stories are like onions because there's so much entailed. But I think it helps us now. Before we get into our segment called The Randoms, let's show the most recent commercial for Noel's Kitchen. All right, check it out. Everyone, after this, we'll get into the randoms.
Hi, I'm Noelia Garcia, and I'm the owner of Noel's Kitchen. At Noel's Kitchen, we make homemade empanadas with a twist, seasoned with love. Thank you for visiting Noel's Kitchen, where we're seasoned with love.
Oh my God! From the egg wash to the cut of the knife. Oh man! So you just know in that fold of the empanadas, you're not a novice there. You're an expert. I mean, like it just goes with ease. And big shout out to Varak from Varak Photo, Varak Studio, and on a great visual. And I love that sign, the Noel's Kitchen seasoned with love. That was fire.
Shout out to my boyfriend Miguel. He's the one that got that for me.
Yes, man. Shout out to Miguel Guerrero for sure. And now it helps us in our last segment called The Randoms, which is a segment that I love. I get to learn about the artists as well for what they do on a visual to what they do just in their natural lives. So all I need to know, Noelia, is when you are ready.
I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Let's go.
All right. Number one. Right now you're at TSR. You have one person you can dance with on the last song. Who is it?
TSR. I'm gonna go with Stephanie. Even though she's new here.
Stephanie Metzger, I'm assuming, right?
No, Stephanie Lucero from Argentina.
Oh, okay.
She did come here to like teach at the salsa room and all that, and had an insane connection. So.
All right, love it. All right, number two. I need you to finish this sentence. If Noelia isn't cooking empanadas or dancing, she is doing blank.
Cooking and dancing. researching something or watching a YouTube video.
About what?
Ooh, well, right now I get obsessed. I get like obsessions. But right now it's electric vehicles.
Oh, you mean like, okay, I got you. Definitely like hybrids and Teslas and everything, I guess.
Yes, I know everything there's to know now because I'm just like obsessed with watching it. I don't know. I mean, it's because I'm getting a new car, so that's partly why. But I always just like I research things and listen to podcasts a lot and audio books and audios and stuff. So that's
okay. See, just learning a little more about you besides what we just see publicly. So number 3 goes like this. If you could have one last meal right now, what would it be?
Last meal. Man, I love food. Like I love so much food that I can't even decide. Oh, you know what? Actually, I haven't had a good parrillada in a long time. Which is in Argentinian, it's asado or parrillada.
Yeah.
All barbecue.
Okay.
So, a little bunch of meat, veggies, bread, everything, like salad. I mean, it's a feast, and I haven't had that in a long time. Like a good one. Like I would have to go to Argentina, you know.
Oh, so you're trying to say that American barbecue does not compare to Argentinian barbecue?
I love American barbecue. I love me some burgers and hot dogs, but at the same time, like the meat, the quality of the meat. I mean, it's just different. The cut, it's different. So I won't say I'm not gonna shit on. But there's a reason why we are famous for it in Argentina. So.
Okay, all right. No shade there. No shade at all. I respect that. All right, next question is, if someone is dancing with you, what is a huge pet peeve or a big don't of dancing with you?
I would say the huge. I deal with everything. I deal with it. I'm very patient on the dance floor. I always say that. But like, I don't like when people try to do like performance type of moves on like social dancing. I just find it so unnecessary.
Yeah.
And like, if you have to fling me up off the ground to the side, we're not doing that today. Like, we're not. So,
that's PSA. That is definitely PSA.
Like, it's just so like, who do you have to like impress that you need to pick me up and throw me over the side of your hip? Like, I just don't understand. Like, it's not that serious. So I think like that should be a little more relaxed. But other than that, I pretty much deal with everything. Like even the off timing, like it's cool. I just go through it. I'm like, yeah, you can dance on 3, no problem, no problem. Yeah, everything else pretty cool. I even deal with dipping, no problem. Dip me.
Okay. But dip you the right way.
If you dip me right, if you start dipping me wrong, I don't know. Then we have issues. But yeah, pretty cool.
Okay. I think you're gonna have to deal with TSR security if you're gonna go to that then.
Yeah. Hi, get up.
Oh my God, perfect. So my next question is from, of course, all of your experiences, and I know we haven't gotten too in depth into then Congress life, which is something I'd love to get into in another time. But what is one of your all-time favorite events?
Oh, Viva la Bachata, hands down.
Okay, just out of
loyal to the crew. I mean.
All right, and it's interesting because from the last question, Miguel here says, if her face changes, just stop.
Yeah, usually I'm not very vocal. I won't be like, hey, like don't do that. But like, I'll go from to like, nah, like stop. Like, and he's talking about the social dancing part. The other question.
No, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah,
the last question.
My face completely just like I'm not that. Yeah. But.
Hey, I respect it for sure. All right. So next question goes. I would say, if you could travel right now, you had a vacation. You can go anywhere right now. Where would it be?
The beach. I need beach. Anything. Like I haven't been to the beach in so long, like before COVID or whatever. I mean, I went during COVID, but that doesn't count because it was not. Yeah. But like, I need like a real like beach trip. Like, dude, throw me in Cancun. Like, give me to the Bahamas. Like, I don't know. Like, I need something, a boat.
Yeah.
Tropical. Like, I just feel like I haven't done any of that in a long time.
Mm.
And I need a tan.
Hey, gotta respect that. All right, perfect. Next question is, of course, you go to different events all the time and you hear some amazing sets by many DJs, but I'm gonna have to put you on the spot. If you can be at one event and you can choose the DJ, who's your DJ?
Wow, this is so easy. It's not even like only because Viva la Bachata again. No, but like aside from me being involved with Viva, like it's honestly like a quality social. Like
Yes.
there, you know, I've been to other socials, and I'm not gonna name names or point fingers, but like, you know, Viva is different because they provide quality, we provide lighting, and you would think like that's so brainless. Like no one thinks about lights, but we think about lights, and you know, we have the best lights, the best media, and because of those reasons, the best dancers come. You know? And so it's like, oh, you get good dancers. Oh, and not to mention the food that, you know, someone named Noelia brings, whatever. Little kitchen, no big deal. But yeah,
promo.
you have food, you have lighting, you have Carlos and the pics. I mean, you have it all, and you have dancers. There's just nothing missing. So, out of socials, I would go with that. If it's a club, obviously TSR. But
hey, I love the loyalty there. No matter what, you never stray. So I definitely respect that.
Oh, and the DJ. And we have DJs. I mean, we have DJ Immersive, who's my favorite. He's been my favorite since I started dancing, and like he doesn't know it, but if he was DJing somewhere, and like I didn't really know him, I'm like, if DJ Immersive's there, like I gotta go.
Hey, much love, Immersive, Emerson. We know we love y'all here. All right, next question is, if right now you could be at your favorite event and you had a performance and they said, Noelia, we want you to choose the closing show, the closing act. Who is it?
Ooh, who chooses the closing act? Myself. No, I'm just kidding. Partially kidding, partially not.
Nah.
No, just kidding. I would choose, if Ferocity was in the building, I would choose Ferocity.
Hey.
Or Pro. But if it was like a random couple, I think I would choose PK Nair.
Okay.
Love them. They're just amazing. They're killing it right now.
All right. Perfect. All right. Our second to last question. Besides DC, what is one of your favorite dancing cities?
I haven't been to that many, but out of the ones I've been to, I would say New York is my second favorite.
Okay.
Like I said, I haven't been to many because we have so much here in DC. Like I don't even need to leave.
Hey, I love the honesty because it's true. Like we've even talked, and I've told you myself, I've noticed over the years that DC has become a hotbed for dancing.
Yeah, like everyone comes here. I'm like, what the hell?
Hey,
I'll just
shameless plug, just a shameless plug.
Like I'll just stay locally because why make the effort? You know, I mean, it's cool, but I've been to Chicago too. But.
Chicago definitely has a great scene as well. I love that answer. All right, our last question, and it goes like this: you're on right now your favorite island. You and Miguel, I'm gonna help you out. Now you got two options. So it goes like this: you and Miguel on an island, and you can only have three things with you. What are they?
On an island, it would be my phone, so I can conduct business. You know?
Yes.
And probably like something to read just to stay sane and entertained. I would figure that I'm like a little bored on a private island with nothing, right?
Yeah, with nothing, absolutely.
Man, what else would I bring? Third thing. Charger. Thanks for the idea. Thanks. Not an empanada. Can I get food on the island? Like, what? I gotta make my own food.
I mean, hey, you got 3 options, so you gotta choose wise. You got some fish in the ocean. Don't worry about it.
So then I would have to bring some. Can I say this like on the platform?
You can say anything you want.
I can't.
No, you
I
can't.
have to bring some weed with me. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, no, hey, it's legal in different places. Who cares?
What am I supposed to do? Like reading and weed? That I'm good.
Hey, love it. I love the honesty. And again, I really appreciate that we can do this segment. It helps me get to learn a little bit more about you. Whether it's, of course, your love for empanadas, your love for DC, your love for Viva la Bachata, and really so much more. And I really appreciate that we can do this. And now it helps us transition to the conclusion of our talk today. And honestly, from start to finish, I'm glad that we can have this discussion. For me, admiring your work for many years, and now myself having a platform that can promote and celebrate a platform like yourself and what you've done for your community, because like you said, food brings people together. So having a person like yourself, like you said, it takes time, it takes a lot of effort out of yourself to prepare all of this by hand and deliver it to people, and keep people happy in a sense. So
no one understands the anxiety of like making food for people.
oh, no. I used to make food. I used to work in Midtown New York cooking. It is not easy. It's not easy to please everyone.
I hope people like this, especially because it has my name on it. Like, I hope this is good, So that, and no matter how many times I make the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
I always am like, oh my God, I hope it's good. It's not that good. It's all right. And then people are like, oh my God, it's so amazing. And I'm like, really? Like, I was stressing about it the whole time, like thinking it wasn't going to be good, thinking like this and this and that. And so it's like, yeah, that is rough. That's the roughest part.
Absolutely. But realizing people like yourself, entrepreneurs like yourself, like just keep pushing, keep promoting, keep just spreading positive vibes and energy, and really doing something great for your community. I'm glad that I can have you on the platform. And like we've talked as well, in the future, I'll definitely want to bring this platform that I have publicly, coming back to DC and really talking to people like you. I want to see, maybe I can do an interview in TSR. I'll talk to them, and I would love to do that, of go to like a hotbed or a place a staple of really of DC, and talk to the artists that for me have been so influential, from your dancing and now to your business. So, honestly, Noelia, I really appreciate you coming on. But before we go, I would love to know if you had any last few words for myself and the audience, but also contact info on how people can reach you and try to get some of those amazing empanadas.
Yes. So first, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity and like inviting me on your platform. I really appreciate all the stuff that you do for the community and giving us a voice. Like, sometimes we just want to be heard. Like people, we just want to be heard.
Yeah.
So it's nice, and like spread your message, and that is truly like priceless and really, really valuable. So I keep doing what you're doing. I hope I see you in person for part 2.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we can get down and dirty. No, I'm just kidding. Get down into the facts of things,
Sure.
A lot more nitty gritty. But this was great. Thanks for the experience. You guys and the audience, thank you so much if you tuned in, and if you follow my work or anything like that, thank you for all the support. It's greatly appreciated, and it does not go unnoticed. I notice everything. So, and my socials. My socials is Noelia PG on Instagram, where I primarily post most of everything, like everything I'm up to and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then my Noel's Kitchen IG is at Noel's_kitchen. And then you can check it out on the website, noelskitchen.net, to place your order. I will be at the next Viva, September 25th, with empanadas.
Hey.
Yes. And so it's coming back. It's coming back. I'm going to make the comeback. And then if you are looking for classes or anything like that, DM me. And I'm working at Crown Dance Studio right now, so you can also find me there. And that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, honestly, thank you, Noelia, because, just realizing you're really a trifecta. I mean, whether it's the dancing side, whether it's the business side, whether it's just you just as a personality, you becoming really I would say a staple in the DC dance scene, in my humble opinion. And honestly, I'm glad that this podcast, we fully support your business and will be ordering as soon as we can. And as well, people, after this interview, I will be putting a link to the website so you can check it out. So thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been a special episode of the Live Discussions with Diamond podcast, episode 153 with the one and only Noelia Garcia. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great night. Stay safe, and we will see you soon.
Bye bye.